Okay, so if you are feeling stuck with your channel's direction or wondering if it's time for a rebrand, this live stream is for you. Today I'll be walking you through 2 real creator rebrands in real time, sharing my advice, tips, and insights on how to refresh a channel so that it attracts the right audience and sets you up for growth. This is one of the many ways I help YouTube creators level up their content to help them gain traction and momentum. Hi, I'm Mona Weathers. If you're new, if you've never met me, I am Mona Weathers. And I also do help a lot of creators, or I'm starting to help more and more creators because I created a free community for it's called Next Level Creator Hub, and this is where I help even more, deeper connections in there and teachings in there. So I want you to know about this because it's free, and um, there is a requirement to request to join right now, which is it's currently at 50 subscribers. You have to have 50 subscribers. This is not to keep people out. This is to keep the right people finding me. So I'm always uh, aware that not everyone's for me, and I would rather help more people who have started their channel already than are just getting started. So, but if you are one of those people that is just getting started and you do not have 50 subscribers yet, just put in that you were on this live stream when you go to join, so that I know, because I feel like if you're watching this and you are serious, and then you can come in even if you're brand new. So I just wanted to explain that. In that community, we cover things like video creation, editing, thumbnail design, email list building, and so much more. And there's an exciting thing that's coming soon that I don't want to talk about. A few people know, and I don't know if the few people are watching right now. A few people know what this is, but it will help you even further to master some of the things that you want to learn to become a better YouTube creator. So, okay, so let's just get started. Okay, so today I'm focusing on rebrands, but not the complete rebrand. So we sometimes just change a little bit about the direction once we figure out like who it is that we're creating content for. Then we kind of have to rebrand and position ourselves in a different place. So this is more of kind of like a positioning advice, not so much like a start to finish rebrand. So the 2 channels I'm giving advice on are I'm just going to give them advice on like how to optimize their channel the best way. And the first the and then some of the things that I'm going to talk about specifically are, do they have the ideal avatar in mind? Do they know who they're speaking to? This is one of the things that is, I think people kind of don't realize how important this is. So you have to know who you're speaking to so that you can create the content for that person. YouTube is not about the algorithm, it's about people. So yes, we can do things to make it easier for the algorithm to find those people, but we do need to know who we're speaking to in order to make content for them. So it will be about talking about the ideal avatar and optimizing the channel layout. That's a big one. Not so much for YouTube, but for the viewer, for the potential subscriber. You want it to make it as easy as possible for them to determine whether your channel is for them, whether your content is for them. The faster that we can do that, the faster that we can grow, right? We can gain more subscribers, gain more views. And then the last one is I'll be looking at some thumbnails to help, make sure that the brand, that like there's a brand and there's a familiarity and there's a consistency about their brand, so that when people are scrolling their what do you call it? Their browser page, I guess. They see you, they know almost instantly, even if they never see your face or anything, that is your content, which that's just really important, especially with more and more people. So we got Robin's here as well. Hi, Robin. Uh, It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Um, so the first channel we're gonna do, and I'm gonna pull up a screen of this person's channel so that you can see in real time. She's actually a client of mine, and we've been going through uh, certain things one by one so that she can, have time to adjust. So she hasn't. I've given her some of this advice already. It's actually a husband and wife team, but the wife is the one that does all of the video editing and all of the content creation. The husband is the one that is the face of the channel. So let me go and share my screen. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Name Homestead Maker is their channel. And what she was having, like, subscriber count was slower for her. And just I think the biggest issue was that they weren't growing as fast as they want. They have some really good videos that took off, and that was going well. She's had some, or they, I guess I should say they, because they're both a husband and wife team. They've had some that they create. He is a what do you call it? A woodworker? What do you call it? A craftsman? Yeah, he's a craftsman. So they're family, craftsmanship, and creativity is what they have. But they're kind of the things that they cover. But we talked about, changing some of that too to make it a little bit different. So what the first issue really was that with them was that they didn't know. And Jamie, if you're here, say hi. They didn't know who exactly they were speaking to. And so we had a conversation, we had a coaching call, or we were in person because she's in person. She's my only client that I've ever had face to face. Um, Actually, that's probably not true. I've probably helped other friends and family too as well. Um, but was that the issue was the ideal avatar. So an ideal avatar is the person who you are speaking to in your videos. And the reason you need to have this dialed in is because if you're saying things like in my case with the beginner channel or beginner YouTubers versus people who've already gotten started. If I'm speaking to somebody who is a very brand new beginner, has never even posted a video, and but my desire is to speak to get people who actually know what to do, what they, like they've posted the video, they've gotten their first 550 subscribers, and they've kind of gotten their feet wet. There's different ways you speak to those two people. It doesn't seem like much, but going from 0 to 50 is actually you're getting your feet wet, the process, how to upload. So like a beginner will be like, oh, well, how do I get started? What do I do first? Somebody who's got 50 subscribers has already gone through that. So I'm intentionally, through my content, through my channel, not speaking. Like, I'm going to make sure I'm still. Let me know if my screen just went black, because every time I look at it, it looks like it just went black. Um, every time I close it, it looks like it just went black. So I'm going to make sure that it's side by side with me so that I know. Here, let me do this instead, so that I make sure that it's not going black, because I had that issue the last time I was on doing my channel went black. I mean, the screen went black. Okay, so we're back. Okay. Okay. So yes, we need to know who we're speaking to, because it's just so important. Like, your content will be the content you create will be either for, like the content you decide to create will be dictated by who it is that you want to speak to. So you're not going to make, like, I intentionally am not making content for how to start a YouTube channel. I don't want to I love those people who are just getting started, but I don't want to start with brand new beginners. I want to start with people who've already started their channels, which is why I've set up my community and everything that way. So for Jamie and Eric is her husband's name, uh, they didn't know who they were speaking to. So we talked about it. And I said, there's two ways you can figure it out who you're speaking to. You can either go by your analytics, go into your analytics, and there is a section in your analytics that shows you the age group and the male and female, and demographic, like where they're from as well. And that's one way you can figure it out. So this is more for an established channel. If you have an established channel and you want to make sure that you're speaking to the right person and you're just like, I don't have any idea who I'm speaking to. I'm just making content. You can find out that way. But if you're like, okay, well, I don't actually want to talk, I don't actually want to make content for 20-year-olds, and that's who's finding your content, then you have to decide who it is that you want to make content for. So for Jamie and um, Eric, they didn't know who that person was. We talked about it, and they decided that he wants to make content for a specific type of person, which is a person who already knows woodworking and wants to get better at woodwork. And that basically we've discovered it was my husband. My husband is their ideal avatar, someone who is skilled enough to learn how to use their tools better or wants to learn how to set up their shop better. Well, we don't have a shop, but that's a dream of his. So he would be when we have a shop, he will go to their channel and figure out, and probably watch a video. We talked about maybe them making a specific resource for channels that I mean a specific resource for people looking to have a layout of their shop, because he has a really awesome, really big shop, but this is what he does for a living. So we discovered that's their avatar. So through that information, through the information of knowing their avatar, then you can start creating content for them. And so what we discovered was that this Staveness homestead maker, even though they are homesteaders as well, didn't really fit the person that they wanted to reach. So as far as I know, we talked last time we talked, they were going to change the name to something more specific with Eric's name in it. I'm not sure. I won't say it, but I'm not sure exactly what they decided on, but it probably would be something more specific to woodworking or project making or something like that. And so my suggestion to her, to Jamie, because she's the one that does all this, is to come up with, a different look for the header. So this is the header, and it's really important that you optimize these things, because remember, we're making content for the viewer. As soon as the viewer sees your video, there's a process that we all kind of do. I mean, some people just subscribe right away, but most people go through a process. They see the video, they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like what they're saying. They go to the channel and they look it over and they see if what that channel fits what, if it deserves their subscription, right? We're all kind of getting a little bit picky about the content that we subscribe to, although the algorithms don't always show us that, but we all are. We're getting picky. We're starting because I think there's just everything you can subscribe and get notifications for everything, right? So we're all kind of like going through this process of is this channel worth my subscription, me subscribing to? So they're going to go through, and this is the process that you go through. You look at the look, just, and this is all pretty much like a split second type of thing. It's not for most people, it's not like you're really studying the channel page. You're just looking at it. You're scrolling through it. Is this something I want to keep is this something I want to subscribe to? So in this case, if they change the name to something, I would say I definitely suggested putting wood in the header, some sort of wood thing in their header. Um, and also thing to have if your channel is like if you are the focal point, basically, if the brand of the channel, like if you're the one speaking, it should be your face because you can't really duplicate that, like nobody else. You People can look alike, I guess, but it's your face. You're different. You're definitely differentiating, making yourself different than the rest of the world by having your face in there. So my suggestion was for them to put a picture of him with wood would be cool or not, whatever. But definitely wood. We're putting wood on this. Um, and then we talked about the layout of the channel, the channel page, because that's another thing. Okay, so I said they look at the banner, they look at the description. Sometimes people don't do this, but I always say have a good description anyway, because it helps YouTube to know what your channel is about. It helps people, if they do read it, to know what your channel is about. So make sure you have some kind of, it doesn't have to be long either. I think 1 or 2 paragraphs is plenty. I have hashtags in mine, but I don't even know if that matters really, but I have some hashtags in there. This clicked link you'll probably have on your channel. And so they have their business linked. Um, okay, I just clicked on it, but I'm gonna so they have their business, which is great. Um, it would be it's to optimize your channel the best possible is to have what offer, whether it's free or paid, to put in this link. So I'm not sure what this link is going to because I stopped it from going, but it would be good to have like a specific thing that the subscriber might be interested in this link right here. And you can have more than one link as well, and it'll say like +1 or something, and there'll be another, they can click on that and more links will pop in. So that's the next thing. So the layout would be the next thing. Now, I've shared this recently with another community, but I had her change this because it was for you. Now, I think YouTube automatically makes it for you here, which it means it's the most relevant video to you, I guess, that YouTube decides. But unfortunately, it was the saddest video for me. It was showing up. Maybe this is because I watch sad videos. I'm not sure. But for me, it was up and it was the saddest video that they have on the channel. And I've seen this a number of times on other videos. And so it was like a video that wasn't really related to the channel at all, but it was just like a life update. And so I told him, you might want to change that because if anybody's like me, the first video they're seeing is a sad video. Um, or it could be just the most unrelated videos to the channel could show up, but you just have it in your library. Um, so I suggested putting the popular videos. I would suggest Jamie, if you by chance are watching this, most pop the channel layout. And now I'm talking about thumbnails. Actually, I'm going to talk about layout a little bit longer. Well, let's go all the way down so they can see. So they have the video, I think is good. Their shorts are entertaining. They might, you guys might have, this one is fine too. Like I'm not like, I like clean as possible on my channel just so it doesn't confuse people too much. But this is fine. So like if you have multiple playlists and things like that, that's fine too. Okay. Then posts. Now, I recently YouTube just in the middle of the night when nobody was watching, put posts at the bottom of your channel page, which I love actually, and I think it's really smart. So if you don't have it there, I would. It is just another way for people to interact. It's clean. It looks clean. It doesn't look cluttered. Here, let me see that going up a little bit. reach, like um, impressions, which I think is really important. I'm going to talk about, if I don't forget, I'm going to talk about impressions later. But yeah, so I definitely think at the bottom of your channel, you should have your posts if you make posts. And if you don't make posts, you should start making posts. I it's another thing that YouTube is kind of like pushing out there and just like secretly not telling anybody that it's really important. I think it's really important at this point to be using your posts. Okay, I'm gonna go to the questions. I'm pretty much done with the thumbnails. I'm gonna go to thumbnails and then Mike, I'll look and see what you said. I see that you're talking. Okay, thumbnails. We have been working on thumbnails, and if you've seen my thumbnail makeovers, you know that the best way to do a thumbnail, I've only done one, by the way. It was my last live stream, or actually the live stream before my last live stream. Um, the thumbnails are really important to think about those, the thumbnail and the title before you make the video. It just makes the process easier. I resisted it for a long time. Then I realized, oh, I get it. I see why they want you to do that first. If you don't do that first, it's fine. Like do the best you can. Like um, don't get don't get too much in your head about it. Thumbnails, I've seen thumbnails that look really like kind of not great, do fine. You know what I mean? Like it's not the end all be all. It's just get better and better at making the thumbnails clearer and more understandable, right? So, and maybe, you know, curiosity, but also, you want to make it people curious, but it's not all curiosity. It's just like is the is the thumbnail does the thumbnail make sense with the title? That's kind of like the key. Does it fit together? Does it get people curious? Does it get people asking questions? But also, does it look like it matches? That's that's kind of like one of the biggest things, I think. But anyway, they have like a lot of things that and I should not have clicked on it because then the thumbnail goes away. So I'm going back. Sorry about that. But whoops. Photographs of things, like the background needs to be what his, in his shop doing a project. This latest one, I think it was a screenshot, and I think it represents it pretty good. So I said, go ahead and try it. I actually made this one for her because it was a a door that he redid. Um, he upscaled a door, an antique door, and I through it I wanted the viewer to understand that this was the old thing and here's the new thing. And I think it worked out pretty good too. But with thumbnails, I want you to remember that the more you make them like the not the same, but like familiar, the easier it is for your viewer to recognize that it's your thumbnail. Like there's some when I'm scrolling, when I'm browsing, some of them I don't even need to look at who it is. I just know automatically who it is, you know? And that's kind of what you want to do because what we talked about earlier was making it the shorter amount of time for your viewer to recognize your content will be, it'll help them, it'll help you because they'll be like, "Oh, I want to watch this. It's from the person I know, or the person I'm subscribed to." So, I think that's all I'm gonna share about this, but so we talked about some of these things about changing, rebranding already with her. I talked to her about it, Jamie. So they're in the process of doing these things. So if you wanna subscribe to her channel, here, I'll put the link in the if you're interested in this content and you wanna check out how it turns out, her rebrand, you can do that. And then we'll go on to the next one. Okay. Comments. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go to your oh no, that was a Mike. I was gonna do okay. Your question, Mike has a question. Okay. Mike has a question. It says, "Can you explain how the most popular video on top?" Okay, so I don't think you have to have the most popular video on top. It was just at the time a better option for her because they had the For You. At that point, I had not looked at her playlist, but I do think a playlist, a chosen playlist, like for instance, mine, I only have two playlists on my channel right now, and we'll look at my channel later if you'd like to see it. But um, I only have two playlists on my channel because I want to make sure that those are the things, those are the things I want people to see. I also want it to be really clean and easy for people to decide whether they want to watch watch um, the whole channel playlist, because if you have too many playlists, it's like you're giving too many options, and it's you can have more playlists, just don't put them on your front page of your channel, because it just is too cluttered, in my opinion. That is just my opinion. I mean, people are doing all different sorts of things, but I think if it's couple of playlists and then your posts at the bottom, and then that's all you need. Okay. The next one we're going to go to, the next YouTube channel we're going to go through is my podcasting coach's channel. And he gave me permission to do this because he's he's an audio podcast. He's an audio podcaster. Let me say it again. He's an audio podcasting coach, but he doesn't do YouTube really that much. He has his videos automatically go from his audio podcasting host. They deliver automatically, because I know this because this is what I was doing. They deliver automatically to his YouTube channel. So it's a static photo with the audio behind it. And let me share the screen real quick. The channel is called Podcasting Business School. And if you are an audio podcaster, definitely go check out his podcast, because it's very, like, he's one of the big, I would say he's part of the reason, because I was the reason too, but he's part of the reason my podcast became as successful as it has. He gave me a lot of great coaching tips. And so definitely, if you are interested in audio podcasts, go check him out. He's really cool guy too. He's just a nice, likable guy, and he has that podcast voice. He's got the podcaster voice. Um, but what he lacks here is a little bit of like YouTube. Um, so it's really hard to go. What I found is it's every platform has its own way about it. It has its own rhythm. It has its own energy. It has its own um, optimization. And podcasting is very different. YouTube, and the way I started my podcast is I did it the same way he did. I automatically sent the videos, my audio videos, to my podcast, and I actually discovered that if I change uh the thumbnail, if I just change the thumbnail for each episode, I get more views, or listens. Um so I started doing that. But uh podcast is very keyword heavy. So in the audio podcast players, you want to get, you know, as on the top of the keywords, because when people go and search for podcasts on the podcast player, your podcast will either show up or they won't show up at the top. And this is where he taught me a lot about keywords. And my podcast is named very simply, it was Homesteading for Beginners. And now it's not because it's named Homesteading for Beginners that I ended up at the top for the keyword homesteading. It's because I strategically worked on that to get to the top for homesteading. So now when people are searching on their audio players, I will either end up, I don't know, I haven't looked at it in a while, but for a while I was definitely the first one that showed up, even though a lot of the podcasts that were beside me had been podcasting for many, many years, like 4 or 5 years more than me. And it's because of that. So podcasting is different. YouTube YouTube is very visual heavy, obviously, right? Because most people are watching YouTube. And so we want to make everything for the person who is watching. Now, you know, pretty good, like as far as like the name, it's all his the name is good. The banner is fine. Like I actually think simplicity is best in the banner, because and I don't think you need to put your own photo in the banner, only because it becomes, if especially if your photo is not in the image here, the circle image, um then it might not matter as much. But if your photo, especially if the same photo is here, is in the banner, and the same photo is in the image, it kind of, I feel like it kind of is like a redundancy. Like it doesn't need to be in both. So a simple thing at the top, a simple words or something like that is best for your header. I keep saying, well, I don't know what you call it, header, banner, whatever. It's that. And I think even though he doesn't put his photo in most of his stuff, he should have his photo in this image. This, what do you call it? I can't seem to remember the name of that thing. Let me see. I have it in my notes. I think it's called I don't know. But you know what I mean? The circle image. It needs to be, I would recommend, Adam, so if you're watching, I would recommend you put your picture in that spot. Now he has a little bit more information on your description about what you do. I think it should be a good paragraph, but he has his website link and everything else that needs to be, which is good. He has his podcasting business school. I didn't. Okay. I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna click on this just to see if it's, because I would put. So yeah, I would put an offer there. So I know, Adam, you have some kind of freebie. I would put your freebie there. Like I think you have a scorecard or something like that. I would put that there. And then we have the for you, okay, so let's go back. We're talking about ideal avatar, uh, channel layout, and thumbnails. Ideal avatar, he already has that down. He knows who he's talking to. He's been doing this for years, and it's not going to be different on YouTube as it is on uh, it's not going to be different on the audio as is the video. The only thing that I might say is that you want to make sure that, because you're an audio podcast coach, that you highlight that that's what you're talking about, because now there's video podcasting, so video podcasting and audio podcasting are kind of different in that, they are different because one has video and one doesn't. But I just want you to, I think it would be good if you just make sure that you're highlighting that part, that you're for audio podcasting. Unless you want to go into the video part and like start teaching people video, then do what you need to do there. But so you already have your ideal avatar figured out. We talk about the channel page. So now I'm just recapping what I'm saying because I may forget. Um, uh, so we need to redo this portion of your channel. I would not put for you because, like I said before, not that this is going to show up as something bad. It's just not going to represent your podcast the best if you have the audio and then video showing up back and forth, because for you means that it's trying to find the best video for you. But I just feel like YouTube doesn't do a good job of that in this case. So I would put playlists. Now, the first playlist I would put is your video playlist, all of your videos in there together. Anything he's done, and I know he's doing podcast growth audits right now. That's how he's trying to revive this channel, by doing audits, and they are video. But this is the podcasting business school, the square image. That's an audio, And the quick and dirty podcasting rebranding strategy, that's a video. So I would put a video playlist of all the video ones. You don't have to call it video playlist. You can call it your audits or whatever it is that you're doing. Put them at the top. Then the next playlist will be your audio playlist. So just so that the people who are coming upon your channel know what they're getting. Like it'll be easier for them to figure out which ones are audio and which ones are video. It might be just by the fact that they prove that, which we'll talk about that as well in a minute with the thumbnails. But for right now, I would just make 2 playlists, and you can have your shorts at the bottom if you want. That's fine too. But make 2 playlists. One be the video playlist of the audits, and the second one be the um, uh, the audio, the audio podcast. Because the other thing that's good about this is that people who do come upon your channel and they want to binge listen to your audio podcast, if it's all in one playlist, easy for them to click on, then they can just go do that, you know? So it's the same thing when with podcasting. You want people to binge your podcast. This is the way you do it on YouTube. Okay, so we've got the shorts, you've got videos down here. Again, if you want to get the most out of YouTube, I would start using posts and put them at the bottom of your YouTube channel page. Just put them at the bottom, um, because it's just another way to get more impressions and more engagement. Okay, so now we're moving on to the the thumbnails. Okay, as earlier I talked about how with my channel used I figured out that if I changed that channel thumbnail, I would get more listens on my audio podcast on YouTube, or at least I would get more impressions. So I would get more impressions and I would get more views. I don't know how long people were listening. That it might be one of those things, like just take this with a grain of salt because I'm not exactly sure if it's better or worse, but it's something to try if you want to try to do a different thumbnail for each podcast episode, which I know you're about like streamline and you want it to work easy, so you might just want to keep it this way. But if you do change your thumbnails, you could put on the thumbnail itself the word audio just so people know that it's an audio and not a video. Um, but yeah, just customizing each thumbnail, you'll get more you'll get more views because I noticed that a lot of your square thumbnail episodes aren't getting views. And you guys, Adam has a huge podcast. Like this is not representative of Adam's work. Like he has 236 subscribers. He has 759 videos on here. This is not he is a very good podcaster. But if a podcaster wants to move to YouTube, you kind of have to play by the YouTube rules, which is getting good thumbnails and things like that. The nice thing, Adam, if you're watching, about about YouTube is it's its own engine. It's its own search engine. It's a really good algorithm, and if you have a video, like they'll push it out if it's a good video, even the audio, So unlike podcasts, they don't help you at all other than showing up at the top of a search, right? YouTube is different. It will push out your videos if they're good. So optimize, optimize, and get the most that you can out of it. Okay, so that's my advice on that. I just think the thumbnails would be, better. I do want to say another thing about your thumbnails, the ones that you're doing for videos. Less words. Thumbnails don't need as many words. All the information or the most of the information should be in your title. So you can have your expressions and stuff and have bigger things. And I would also not put your podcasting business school, what do you call that? your logo, I wouldn't put that on there either. Make it as plain as possible and with less words. And just like so this one is podcasting rebrand strategy. You could just use podcast rebrand strategy. That's all you need. You don't need quick and dirty and all that kind of stuff. The thumbnails are supposed to be a part of the title because we automatically go from thumbnail to title, then we click on it if it's interesting enough, and then we watch the hook, and if that's interesting enough, we watch the video. So that's how the process goes. So less words definitely on your thumbnails, bigger image of you, like I would even make it bigger than the one that's to the oh yeah, my cursor is working. I didn't know if it was working on the thing. I would make it bigger than that. I have mixed feelings about faces like ex- y- what do you call it? Like the YouTube faces that everybody used to make. They've stopped making them as much anymore. I think your regular face, maybe some expression, but not a whole lot of expression is also a better way to go now in YouTube. At one point, that was the way everybody was making, exaggerated expressions. I don't think you need to make those anymore. So those are my tips on that. And I hope that was helpful, Adam. If you are watching, I'm sure you're watching at some point. Actually, I'm going to share this with you. So at some point you'll be watching. If you'd like any more tips on that, just let me know. Okay, I'm going back to the chat and I'll put Adam's link as well in the thing so you can go check that out if you want to become a podcaster, an audio podcaster. He's the best person to learn from. Okay. Let's go see. Oh, so Mike, you had asked if banners matter that much. I don't know. I really don't have the answer to the question. I've seen channels that have no banners and they look fine. I've seen them with banners and they look fine. Like I'm not even sure if it matters to YouTube whether there are banners. What I would say about your channel is though, I would put a banner because first, your channel is new. It's young. It's a baby channel. You need to help people as much as possible know what your channel is about. Um, Second, you have all kinds of beautiful architecture in your city that you could be putting up there. So put one of those, put a image um of anything, and you know what I mean, like any of those images that you're doing your local history things on, put it in just a photo of that would be fine. Or you could put that and local history with Mike. I mean, either way is fine. Like, I just think it just adds, at this point, it adds to your channel. Whereas somebody who has a bigger channel, it may not, like a really big channel, it may not add to them. It may not matter. If you want to help people know what your channel is about, make a banner. Some people don't need to for different reasons, whether that's their second channel and they just decided it didn't matter or whatever. But I would, in your case, I would put a banner on yours. Okay, and I got no views on my first 13 math tutorial videos. Oh, interesting. Do you still have that channel, the math tutorial channel? Or is that something that was from a long time ago? Okay, so I'm going to go to yours now. Let me put it in. I'm going to go to Mike's channel. I think I have to put it in. Okay. Okay, you don't have that channel anymore. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to Mike's channel. And then I'm almost at an hour already, but if you want me to keep going, I can keep going because I can talk about my own rebrand. Hi. I forgot your name, Navigating Motherhood. Hello. I think you just joined our community. It's very nice to meet you. But I forgot your name. So tell me your name again. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with Mike's YouTube channel. I'm just gonna give you some advice on this. I'm gonna give some advice on his channel. Um, so Mike just did a rebrand and he's in the process. He's still in the process. So that's where we're at right now. His other channel was like Water Sites Sounds or something, which you still have your YouTube link. And as soon as possible, change that to something else. Because that channel is not, that link is not live anymore. I tested it. um, so let's start this rebrand, talking about this rebrand with the ideal avatar. Now, Mike, you can interact in this at this point and tell me who you are speaking to in your videos. Like, I want to know age range. And I want to know, well, yeah, I want to know at least age range. Um, it doesn't have to be male or female, but if you know that you're talking to more males than females or whatever, let me know. Oh, Eva, nice to meet you. I'm glad you're here. Um, yeah, so when you get a chance, if you're still watching, Mike, put that information in the chat and then we can talk about that. So what we've been talking about is rebranding and the process that the things I'm highlighting today, because there's lots of parts of rebranding. The things I'm highlighting today are the ideal avatar, the person who you're speaking to in your videos, the layout of your channel to make those people find you and subscribe as easy as possible, and then the thumbnails to make your videos more clickable for those people who are interested in your content, for your ideal avatar. Okay, I'm getting answers from Mike right now because I asked him what the age range of the people that he believes. Or now, are these people that you know are the age range, or are these people that you want to speak to? There's a big difference between that. Is this the age range? So he has in the chat, he's answered age range 35 to 55 or even 60, because that's who would be interested in history. Okay, I see. I see how you're coming up with that answer. And that's true. Older people are more interested in history than younger people. Okay. So in that case, just as you're making your content, which I believe you're already doing, just, speak to that person. Remember, you're speaking to that age range. You are also speaking to people who are interested in history. Either they are local to you and want to know more about, they want to know about their city, they want to know more about their state or whatever. It's those people. And it also could be people who are general history buffs who just want to know more about history. And I feel like it also could be people who want to travel to that area. So you could be hitting a few different types of people in that age range. People who want to travel to that area, people who are living in that area, and people who are just general history buffs who just love to learn about history, right? So just frame every video that you make around that idea. Um and then we talked about the banner. Um I think, like I said before, you should have a banner. I would just put some kind of like picture of a bridge like you have there, just the bridge. You don't need your own picture in there. Or what is the one that you did? That one, the Museum of Art, something that represents Philadelphia. Um, or I would put it as a banner picture. You can put local history with Mike, but you kinda don't need it because you have it 3 ways, This is why words don't really matter as much in the banner unless you're putting, something that represents, like, you could use that what is that motto? That's in the banner or the header. That might be good. And then let's see. And then we're gonna go down. So everything's good. You got your picture. Yay. No more L. 'Cause it was an L for a long time for those who don't know. And then you've got your description. I don't know that a good link there to something. Even if it's just one of your other videos, you could put a link there. Just make sure it's something that's not that leads to something. All of this also helps with credibility when you have working links, when you have descriptions, when you have, headers and things like that. It all gives you credibility as a step, you know what you're doing. You even if you even if you don't know what you're doing, you can fake it at this point. With these steps. Like it just gives you more credibility when all of these things are put together. And it doesn't take much time, and then you don't have to touch it for a long time probably. Um, so you actually don't have very many tabs open, so I would start working with adding more tabs. So you just have your videos. You could just add a playlist. Um, that I don't know how you're going to categorize this, but I'm sure you can figure it out. But you want yeah, a playlist of some sort that categorizes these, and I would do 2 or 3 playlists. Um, is all you need. Like at this point, all you have is all of your videos just showing up. But if you organize them, it'll make it easier for the viewer to know what to watch. It's like you're guiding them what to watch. Like, oh, you want to watch this latest video I did, or you want to watch this video. If you're coming here and you want to learn more about, the greater, then start here. Like if you did a start here video, that would be good as well. Now, there is an option, and I see this a lot, but I have not found it to be very helpful, where you use like call it trailer video, where it's the highlighted video and it's just one video and it plays automatically. If it didn't play automatically, I wouldn't be so upset about it, but it always automatically, and I instantly turn it off. And I'm like, I'm not ready to watch this video, even if it's like an intro to my channel, because it's like at some point I might be interested in watching that video. But for some reason, when I'm going to look on someone's channel, I don't want to have a video automatically play. And I feel like that doesn't help that video to get out there more. It just it has a lot of views maybe, but it doesn't have a lot of uh a very long retention because it's automatically playing. So I wouldn't recommend it. In my opinion. I wouldn't recommend putting a video that automatically plays when you go on your channel. Um, so yeah. And we've been working on your thumbnails, which has been great. Um, I think this one honestly was what it was the perfect thumbnail for that video because it's showing what you're looking at. It's kind of like it's not too much like overproduced thumbnails when it's not the right topic is a deterrent. Like if it's not sometimes less is more is basically what I'm saying. Like sometimes you just need to see what it is and then, see what like the beautiful background that you have of the bridge and that's it. And then the title will explain the rest. Like I think a lot of times, especially if you're doing outdoor things, that's the better option. Um like my channel, my homesteading channel, I have a lot of outdoor looking things in that channel and my thumbnails aren't great over there, so if you go check it out, like know that it was before I like really dove into thumbnail creation, but some of them are doing great. Like, and I overproduced definitely a bunch of the older ones. They have way too much stuff on them. And at some point, I'll probably go through and change all of those, which is a nice thing about thumbnails and titles. You can always change them. You can always, you know, put life back into your YouTube channel by doing that. So when you're doing outdoor things, I really think it should be outdoor, but I don't usually put outdoor things in my thumbnails for this channel because it would be like a disconnect. Like, oh, if I have a picture of me outside and then the video goes and I'm sitting at a desk, it's kind of like, oh, well, she's not outside. so so I make mine more, you know, well, there's no background in most of mine. I make a background, but there's just different channels, different topics need different thumbnails. So sometimes less is more, and I think you did a good job the with this one, where it's just you're showing what's in back, and people who recognize it know what you're talking about when you're pointing at that, like, and then people who don't recognize it. So yeah. So and then sometimes you can put um, text if it's helpful. And we talked about putting no more than 3 words. Um, but yeah, so that's my suggestions there. If you haven't, there, I'm gonna go to the chat section. Um, okay, you haven't done the playlist yet. Oh, that's really interesting. He says people tell me in their comments about their bridges. That's really interesting insight. Um, yeah, that's that's people who are just interested in the topic in general. Okay. Yeah, just make a playlist. He says I never did a playlist yet, but yeah, that would be the next thing. The header, maybe, and the playlist and the link. Those are 3 things. If I were to give you an assignment, those are the 3 things I'd say do. Okay. Such a good point about highlighted video. I always tend to skip those when I visit someone's channels. That's what Ava said. Yeah, that's the way they annoy me a little bit. And I used to have one and I was stopping it every time I'd go to my channel. I'm like, if I wonder how many other people are stopping it in the middle or, not even 2 minutes in or not even 2 seconds in, you're like instantly stopping it because um, you don't want to watch it right now. Like, it's not like you don't not interested in the videos. Like, that's not why I came to the channel. I didn't came come to instantly watch a video. I came to look over and scan and figure out if I want to subscribe to this channel. Okay, yeah. I like the no text mic in the last one that you did. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I think I'm not going to go through my because that would probably take another 30 minutes, but at some point I'll go through my whole rebrand process because it's interesting and I did it quickly because I had the no plan B energy that I talk about in one of my videos where I just got out of my own way and I just made the adjustments as fast as I could until I felt like I had what I wanted at the end. And I pretty much come to that place and it took, from start to finish, it took like 2 months, but that was with me, like I would say less than a month when I finally figured out what I wanted to do. And then it was like really, really fast. I also want to remind you that I have a community. If you're watching, I want to remind you I have a community here. I'll share that because I want you to see what my community is about. I have 15 members now. 2 of those are me because so I will tell you that. My screen is black, I think. Morning, connection is low. Okay, it was telling me the connection was low. Let me try it one more time. Works. And if it doesn't, then we just won't do it, I guess. But I would love for you to join the community. It's where I help people even further, give you advice on building a YouTube channel with like a sustainable YouTube strategy, with a sustainable YouTube strategy, because that's not always the case of this chat. So follow the link if you'd like to join. I offer one-on-one coaching if anyone is interested in that. I have a system I call reps. Reps RPPPPS. And it's where I basically help you to have all of the pieces that you need to have a good channel, like, that grows and that has, that have your sustainable growth. That's what am I trying to say? That has good strategy and systems. Like, you want systems. Systems is what gets you what you want. It's not goals. Goals are great. We need goals. But systems is what gets you there. Systems and processes. So I do one-on-one coaching with that. You can find that more about that on my website, monaweathers.com, like the weather with an S. And yeah, and there's a link in my channel description. If you'd like to go there, you will see on my channel page that I have a link to that as well. But if you'd like to just get um, build community and learn from me and other people who've done YouTube more, or my strength is content creation, and I've been doing that for many, many years. YouTube is just another way to make content. So I have a few years, like, I've been doing this for like 3 years, but I'm still learning in certain areas, but I'm very good at content creation. I'm very good at figuring out what people want and giving them what they want and what they need. So that's my strength, but there's certain areas of YouTube that I still am learning, and I'm fully, like, open about that. But I know how to grow things. My Instagram channel is at 18,000. I could have grown it bigger, but I stopped because I realized that Instagram is not the best place to be. Like, Instagram and TikTok are not the platforms for me. And so I moved on to YouTube, and I've been growing my other channel as well as this one. So, but I am going to head out, I think. But I encourage you to join the community. If you do not meet the requirements that I have for that community, you can just tell me that you were at this live and you'd like to join. Even if you are new to YouTube and you haven't started, you can still join. I just need to know that people are serious when they join if they're brand new beginners. So I that's why I made that 50. You have to have 50 subscribers before you join normally, but I will let you in if you say that you are very serious and you want to join the community. So, okay, that is all. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or evening or wherever it is you are in the world. And I will probably be back next week, maybe doing a thumbnail makeover again, because those were fun. My computer can't handle it very well, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to figure this out. We might just need to get another computer. But anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you next time. Okay, I got to figure out how to make this bigger so I can. Okay, end stream. Bye, everybody.